this is Diane Murray at Southern Art Gallery. Today we are going to paint a simple sunset that we painted in a class I'm teaching yesterday. And yesterday we started with this is our horizon line, and we painted the sky first, and then we painted the water. And today we're going to do it a little bit differently. We are going to start, I've wet my paper below the horizon line. So we're going to start painting the water instead. First, that was just an ultramarine blue. Now we're going to come in with our quinacridone magenta. See if we can make some nice purples here. And now that we're in that pink, I'm going to add a little orange in there. Trying to stay in the orange and the pink and away from the too much of the blue. As you can see, we kind of get that moodiness going when we get that in there. There's some grays. Come in with some straight ultramarine blue in there, and do some waves in there. Darken this up a bit, and let's go up here and darken up our horizon line. Now, as long as your paper's wet, you can go back in and fiddle around, but once your paper starts drying, you really need to leave it alone and let it dry. Now, this is really wet, but I'm going to try to put some yellow in here. Just to liven that up a bit. Every sunset you paint will be different. No two will be alike. So we're kind of going to just let that settle out, and I'm going to take a thirsty brush and just soak up the excess water we have right there. I'm using a really large brush. This is a Da Vinci Cosmo Top 30. So it's a really juicy brush. So we're going to get a really soft mixture of colors. Now, if you don't like the way this is looking, you can move, as long as it's wet, it'll move, slightly move around. So I'm going to go ahead, even though this is still wet, and I'm going to do I'm going to try not to touch that, but I'm going to go ahead and put my sky in. Just going along the edge, and if it bleeds up a little bit, that'll be fine, and it is bleeding up just a little bit. So it's going to bleed back this way, which is fine. We can go over that again. I really should have waited, but I didn't, so now we're just going to take advantage of that. Okay, so we're going to take and bring our orange in. Which was that? Whoa, that's very bright. Okay, that was a bit of a heavy load there. Let's soften that a bit. Let's start again up here. Okay. And that's going to be quite bright, which is fine. We're going to have to add some of this orange down here though. So I'm going to go ahead in with that Pyro Red and try to cut some of that orange. And it's okay to leave little spaces because you can fill that back in with the yellow when you do that. And I'm actually going to come in here with some of this in the water, and we'll soften that in a bit. Okay, we're going to get rid of that excess. Now we're going to come in with our blue and hopefully get a nice purple with the ultramarine. Now you see we're getting these moody colors because we're mixing the orange with the blue, which of course is going to give you a muted purple. And since we've lost so much of the yellow, I'm going to go back in with the yellow right along here. Very, very bright. And you see we're getting a little bit of that fade, so we're getting a little bit of green in there, but that's okay. It's almost impossible to not do that. Okay, now, while it's still wet, we are going to take out our sun. And the easiest way to do this is to take a paper towel. I saw this on YouTube. I think it's just so neat. And just twist it around a quarter or a lid. And wherever you want your sun to be, as long as it's on the horizon line, and I usually do off-center it, just press, and there's your sun. That is so neat, I think. Okay, so there's our sun. And now you see we're getting a bleed this way, which is fine. But if I wanted to correct that, I could sneak in here and just adjust that a little bit. Okay, and then we make sure that along our, that we have the same colors here and there. I'm gonna actually let that dry like that so we get that bleeding this way in a linear fashion, and I'm gonna take up the excess of that water. And that's okay that that's lighter there. Now if I wanted to lift out some clouds out of this, I would simply take my paper towel and scrunch it up and lift. Okay, and that gives us the cloud effect. And it's good to do it right above the dark because clouds usually have a dark underside, but we're not going to put that in. Let's put some along the horizon line there. Like they're just floating along there. Okay, and there you have it. A very simple sunset. And you can go back in, if this dries too pale for you, you can go back in and charge more colors back in there. Like I would probably go back in, but I can't right now because you can see we have lost the sheen on the paper. So once this is dry, I would go back in and just do another wash of ultramarine blue to make this more intense. So I'll probably do that, and I'll just attach the photograph to the video. So I hope you found this helpful, and if you did, please subscribe to our channel, and we will see you soon.